You know, now many of the image, the video about the Chalk City massacre committed by the evil regime, you know, survey and, you know, public on social media. Yeah, yesterday, you know, I estimate about 5,000, but now, you know, the number maybe 12,000. Yeah, it must sense because only one location, you know, only one location. The butcher, you know, store the body bag. The butcher store the body bag, maybe few hundred body. You see, only one location, one hospital, few hundred body. How many hospital in Iran? Yeah, but the truth will reveal, you know, and the evil regime leader, you know, will pay the price, the big price. Yeah. You know, some of the family, they told the people that, you know, the regime, you know, asked the relative of the loved one, you know, pay for the bullet body bag, the fee of the collection. Why? Because when after they shot the civilian on the street or on the public square, right? And they wanted to cover their crime, so that's why they collect, you know, the body, clean their crime, you know, to hide their crime. Yeah, but the truth will reveal, you know, because, you know, the regime collapse soon, you know, and, you know, the Stalin, you know, Elon Musk, you know, some other people, they use Stalin, Elon Musk, you know, they can connect the internet and they can, you know, they can transfer the video, the image, you know, to the outsider. The protester should take up arm, you know, if they can, you know. So when, you know, the regime collapse, you know, you guys can control your country and keep, you know, your country safe, you know, not in chaos. Yeah. And the regime, you know, collapse soon. Yeah, because nobody want to talk with the evil regime like that. The regime, you know, hide the mercenary from Lebanon or Iraq, you know, to kill their own people. Right now, you know, many of the European countries, they started to support Iranian. See the, you know, the Iranian regime, just like evil regime, need to be eliminated. Yeah. Many young Westerners, they don't support, you know, the Iranian uprising. They so stupid. Because the Iranian, you know, uprising, they fight for their life, their value, their culture, similar like Western culture. You know, they so stupid. Yeah, they make peace with the radical Islamic. Evil regime collapse soon and Iran, you know, go back with the Western civilization. Yeah.
Justice and the rule of law. The latest statistic in the past 4 days is that the Iranian government has executed 15 political prisoners, bringing the total number of executions from September 23rd to October 22nd to 80 people. To address this culture of impunity, it is essential that the international community, human rights organizations, and concerned citizens speak out against these grave injustices. There must be a concerted effort to ensure that those who have committed human rights abuses in Iran, whether in 1988 or in more recent cases, are held accountable. We believe the failure of the international community to hold the Iranian government accountable for the 1988 massacre is partly to blame for this culture of impunity that has thus come about. To date, UN member states have failed to establish a commission of inquiry to investigate the ongoing crimes against humanity related to the 1988 massacre. Thus, we urge the co-sponsors of the annual UN General Assembly Third Committee resolution on Iran to include an explicit reference to the need for accountability regarding the 1988 extrajudicial executions and enforced disappearances in the text of this year's resolution. The resolution should, for instance, refer to the case of Iranian political prisoner Maryam Akbari Munfared. On October 15, 2016, Ms. Akbari Munfared submitted an official complaint from prison where she's being held to the Iranian judiciary over the execution of her siblings in the 1988 massacre. She was subsequently put under further pressure in prison. Ms. Akbari Munfared is currently serving the final 18 months of her 15-year sentence. She has been told that she will not be released until she retracts her calls for accountability over the murder of her siblings. And on July 1st, 2023, Ms. Akbari Munfared was summoned to the courthouse of Evin Prison, where she was arraigned on 5 new charges, including insulting the supreme leader. She has since received an additional 2-year sentence. The families of these victims deserve truth and justice. The Iranian people deserve a government that respects their basic human rights and adheres to international standards of justice and accountability. We must support those advocating for change within Iran, and we must make it clear to the Iranian government that the world is watching and that impunity for gross human rights violations will not be tolerated. The 1988 massacre is not an insulated event. The effects are apparent and visible to this day. In reality, many families are currently being harassed for seeking justice for their loved ones who were taken from them in 1988. It is high time that the UN member states urgently establish an inquiry into the 1988 mass executions and enforced disappearances. States should also support the pursuit of accountability for Iranian officials who have committed major crimes that violate international law, such as the 1988 massacre and the brutal crackdowns on previous and current protests. In conclusion, the culture of impunity within the Iranian government, exemplified by the 1988 executions and many other instances of human rights abuses, is a stain on our collective conscience. We cannot stand idly by while injustices and suffering persist. JVMI believes that it is our moral obligation to demand accountability, to support the victims and their families, and work towards a future where human rights are upheld and justice prevails. Only by doing so can we hope for a brighter and more just future for the people of Iran. Thank you very much.